If Picard or any of his people interfere, eliminate them.
Why would the Federation or the Sona wish to move the Baku?
I don't know.
The battle for paradise has begun.
Stay tuned as the crew of the Enterprise fight the forces of evil in Star Trek Insurrection.
Red alert! All hands, battle stations! Action!
I don't believe it happened.
Why would they fire on him without provocation?
All I know is that he was functioning normally until he was shot. Then his failsafe system was activated.
Failsafe.
His ethical and moral subroutines took over all of his basic functions.
But you're saying that he still knew the difference between right and wrong.
In a sense, that's all he knew.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes, E's half-hour look at Star Trek Insurrection.
Another 43 reported taken, sir.
The latest installment of the famed space exploration series finds the faithful crew of the Enterprise coming to the aid of a defenseless race.
Why would they duplicate this village? Except to deceive the Baku.
Deceive us.
To move you off this planet.
What's different about this film, I think, what's most obviously different is that it's more of a lyrical romance as the subplot, or as the basic canvas. And by virtue of being outside, it has we shot wide, which we didn't get to do. We shot very tight in the Borg movie, in First Contact. So the camera movement is much more lyrical, I think, and the look of the film is richer.
Patrick Stewart brings that certain richness to life as he reprises his role as the ship's captain, Jean-Luc Picard.
One of the problems with the series was that at times he appeared to be too much of a kind of Iron Man, you know, impenetrable and without some of the softness and openness that I think a hero needs to have. And so we've isolated specific aspects of that in the first two movies. In this, it's very much to do with humor and romance.
Eugene Chefor, Regent Qzar, welcome aboard the Enterprise.
Captain Picard, may I welcome you in the time-honored tradition of my people. We are so honored to be accepted within the great Federation family.
We have a dance later.
I look forward to it.
Picard may have let his guard down, but he is still the captain of the Enterprise.
We are participating in the outright theft of a world.
They were never meant to be immortal.
Who the hell are we to determine the next course of evolution for this people?
Insurrection, which means to rise and revolt, is a classic battle between good and evil. The evil being the Sonya, led by the horrible Ru'afo.
Sir, as the Enterprise left orbit, one of their support craft went down to the surface.
What?
Appeared to be the captain's yacht. 5 persons on board.
We're not waiting until morning. Take the shuttles and get everyone off the surface tonight. Palatine, if Picard or any of his people interfere, eliminate them.
F. Murray Abraham, who won an Oscar for Amadeus, is the Sonya's evil leader, Ru'afo. He had a good time playing the bad guy.
There's something about evil that is really very attractive. It's unfortunate, but it's true. That's what makes it so dangerous, I guess.
Your body's producing far too many toxins. We've reached the limit of genetic manipulation.
I won't need any more genetic manipulation. If our Federation friends will allow us to complete this mission.
Abraham also enjoyed the freedom of acting behind a mask.
It's a natural phenomenon, I think. If you were to, for example, consider habits that you've had privately in a room with the lights off. I'm thinking of any kind of, your first sexual experience, for example. Your impulse is to turn the lights off for some reason. You feel freer, you feel less, I don't know what, inhibited. It's basically that, hiding your face, being someone else. It allows you to do anything that comes to mind.
Wow. Okay. Well, getting back to the film, what is the character's prime directive?
He wants what we all want, which is eternal life. But he does want to take it away from someone else who can control it.
And that someone else is the Baku. Their leader is Anish, played by Donna Murphy.
This community of people have abandoned the technological world and created this sanctuary of life on this planet where they've lived for over 300 years. And one of the perks of living on this planet is that there's an effect from the rings that surround it that keep its inhabitants from aging physically beyond a certain point.
Of course, Captain Picard can't control his unrelenting attraction for this beautiful leader.
He opens up, she opens up. They open up each other. It's beautiful.
Meanwhile, back on the ship, Riker, played by Jonathan Frakes, and his faithful engineer Geordi, played by LeVar Burton, are battling off the Sonya.
Tell them our transceiver assembly's down. We can send messages but not receive them.
I don't think they believe us.
Why not? Photon torpedo.
Isn't that a universal greeting when communications are down?
I think it's the universal greeting when you don't like someone.
Full impulse.
Manifolds can't handle full impulse in the patch, Commander.
If we don't outrun them, the manifolds will be the only thing left on the ship.
I'll be in engineering.
Red alert! All hands, battle stations!
And it wouldn't be Star Trek without a good subspace tear.
I thought subspace weapons were banned by the Kittimer Accord.
Remind me to lodge a protest.
Our warp core's acting like a magnet to the tear. We're pulling it like a zipper across space.
Option.
We could eject the core.
Will that stop the tear?
You got me, Commander.
That's your expert opinion?
Detonating the warp core might neutralize the cascade, then again, it might not. Subspace weapons are unpredictable. That's why they were banned.
Tear's closing on us. Impact in 15 seconds.
Eject the core.
I just did.
Impact in 10 seconds.
Detonate. Action!
This is the cast's third film together, and after 7 seasons on television, you could say that they know each other pretty well.
There's an absolute, total lack of respect for each other that is so incestuous and healthy. Nothing and no one is sacred. And you better not show up in the morning too fragile, or you will be bludgeoned.
We actually do walk the line between having no respect for each other and absolute respect for each other. And I think we know each other well enough now to know when to bring those out. But it is the fun we have, I think, that keeps us coming back and doing it, and the fact that we like to hang out with each other. And the fact that we do sort of appreciate each other's work.
Action, Patrick.
Rerouting the transporter grid to avoid detection was wise, sir. However, the transporter is rarely used after 0200 hours.
What's surprising is the range and talent of these people in our family. Patrick obviously sets a pretty high acting bar, and I know it's made me a better actor, and I think it's true of most of the rest of us. To see Brent shade a scene and add a moment with his intelligence and wit and timing, it makes you as a director look like a genius if you just print it and move on and say, well, yeah, that was my idea.
Doing the show, doing a film of Star Trek is like doing one long improv that's only interrupted by having to do scenes from the movie.
It's not possible to work as closely, as intensely as we did for the 7 years of the series without getting to know just about everything there is to know about your colleagues, because we've all seen one another under some of the happiest and at times some extreme and difficult circumstances. And everyone has had a lot of respect for each other because of the different experiences.
Rerouting the transport grid to avoid detection was wise, sir. However, the transporter is rarely used after 0200 hours.
Taking the captain's yacht out for a spin?
7 metric tons of ultrinium explosives, 8 tetryon pulse launchers, and 10 isomagnetic disintegrators.
Looks like you're planning on doing some hunting.
Return to your quarters. That's an order.
No uniform, no orders.
Captain, how could I look at another sunrise knowing what my sight cost these people?
I feel obliged to point out that the environmental anomalies may have stimulated certain rebellious instincts common to youth, which could affect everyone's judgment. Except mine, of course.
Okay, Data, what do you think we should do?
Saddle up. Lock and load.
Insurrection also reignites an almost forgotten romance between Troy, played by Marina Sirtis, and Riker.
In the pilot of the original of our series 12 years ago, it was implied, more than implied, that there had been a romance between my character, Riker, and Marina Sirtis' character of Counselor Troy. That was swept under the carpet for reasons that shall remain unmentioned for years, and the fans missed it. And our writers decided to reinvestigate it.
The fans have always loved that relationship. There were a few fans who actually did like the Troy and Worf thing. The kind of, the weird ones, I'm going to say, like the Troy and Worf thing. But the real Troy and Riker fans loved the fact that those two had this on-again, off-again thing, and I'm happy to see them back together.
But fans will be even happier to see their favorite android back in action. This film put Jonathan Frakes' directing skills to the ultimate test.
Shooting outside for most of the film, or for more than half of the film, was certainly a new challenge for Star Trek, which is generally somewhat claustrophobic and ship-bound. So we had the limitations and the challenges, I guess is what they like to call them, of the elements of shooting fighting sun, both coming up because we shot in a couple of weeks of nights and going down.
Luckily, the cast and crew didn't have to fight Mother Nature.
Lake Sherwood, where Herman Zimmerman built the Baku village, stayed green longer than it has for years because of all the rain. So somebody smiled on us. But 2 weeks later, it was all brown. So we got in and out just in time.
It wasn't so easy for the peaceful Baku people. However, shooting, that is with a camera, in the High Sierras presented some unforeseen problems.
I prefer working in the studio because I like my trailer to be close by, and going to the bathroom, little things like that were difficult when you're up a mountain. You have to go up the mountain in the helicopter. I'm scared of heights. It was a little traumatic.
The problem is the makeup. It's uncomfortable. You can't get comfortable. You can't I'm going to sit in the sun for a while, because it'll bake you.
But the alpine backdrop did offer a beautiful setting.
We were able to shoot at the top of a mountain up in Mammoth, about 10,000 feet up above Lake Sabrina, accessible only by mule and helicopter. But the snow was still on the mountain, so it looked like the Alps. It was spectacular.
And the special effects weren't too shabby either. The dramatic landscape allowed Brent Spiner to really sink into his role.
Can he breathe underwater?
Data doesn't breathe.
Won't he rust?
No.
Yeah, the underwater makeup, you know what, I don't even remember what that was. It was some kind of cement product, I think, which didn't make me buoyant, I'll tell you. But it was necessary that I go to the bottom and stay there. But yeah, and the hair, it's actually, that was a wig. I mean, generally it's my hair through the rest of the movie, but this wonderful wig maker named Renata, who is a genius, made this this rock-solid data hair so that it wouldn't move underwater. Comfort is the name of the game for me in terms of Star Trek. I'm always comfortable with yellow contacts in my eyes and a pound of gold powder on my face.
Do you like being a machine?
I aspire to be more than I am.
They're hailing us. Tell them our transceiver assembly's down. We can send messages, but we can't receive them.
I don't think they believe us.
Why not? Photon torpedo. Isn't that a universal greeting when communications are down?
I think it's the universal greeting when you don't like someone.
Full impulse.
This is the third adventure for the Next Generation crew and could be the last. But don't tell Patrick Stewart.
I think one of the things that's very exciting about Insurrection is that it leaves us at a place where there is a potential, a launch pad for a really powerful story. I think anybody who sees the film will kind of know what I'm talking about. We could go into a high-action drama involving Picard's return to the Federation, return to the home planet, that I think could be tremendously exciting.
Brent Spiner is aware of the higher force that controls the dysfunctional space family's fate.
We're living in America, in Hollywood America, where supply and demand is the bottom line. And I think it sort of depends on the success of this picture, whether we even do another one. You know, I think we'd all enjoy to come back one more time and do it again, but it is economics, and that's life, and we'll see what happens.
Michael Dorn, who plays Worf, would like to shed his Klingon past.
I just want to do something where they have regular makeup.
F. Murray Abraham knows his fate is sealed.
I'll never go back because my character's gone. I don't want to give anything away, but in a fight to the death with Patrick Stewart, guess who loses?
And director-actor Jonathan Frakes.
I'm waiting to hear.
Coming up on Behind the Scenes, Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks endure sleepless nights on the internet in You've Got Mail.
So how's that book of yours going?
There's a children's book editor I know from the store who's excited to read it when I finish it. Who would ever have thought that I would write? I mean, if I hadn't have had all this free time, you know what? Truth is that he was the one who made me start thinking about writing.
Mr. 152 Felony Indictments?
Mr. 152 insights into my soul.
Oh, well, yeah. No competing with that.
Oh, I keep on bumping into you. Hope your mango's ripe.
I'm sure it is. Hey, you want to bump into me next Saturday, say around lunchtime?
We'll leave you now with an exclusive scene from Star Trek Insurrection.
Your selfless train puzzles me, Admiral. You continue to deny yourself every benefit this mission has to offer.
I prefer to wait until we can share the benefits with all the people of the Federation.
Report.
Phaser blast, unknown origin.
Raise shields. Take us out of orbit.
Photon torpedoes, brace for impact.
The vessel has broken off pursuit, sir. Visual contact.
That's our ship.